Alright, twats. What's up? So this is like my little you can say you can say like little like a crash course, I'd say. It's like a little course on like what I've learned and what I really want you guys to learn. But like yeah, and it's just mostly on this thing that's on the screen. My desk camera here. Yeah, so it's just gonna be mostly about that. Um And yeah, it's just me over what I've learned and my new strategy that I've personally came up with that I don't, from what I can find, I don't think anyone else has found. But to teach you that strategy, we're first gonna have to go over some basics. Um, but the number one thing is that if you want to get into this for like fast money, it's not a good idea. If you need fast money, go get a job, cause it takes a really long time. Like I've been doing this since October, and I have made like almost pretty much nothing. So if you wanna if you wanna seriously do this, you're gonna have to be ready to put in the time. You know what I mean? Okay. So before we start, you, I need you to wait. Sorry, I'm just switching my camera here. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Okay. Can you? Yeah, you can see. Okay, awesome. Before we start, y'all are gonna need this bloody just a little book. I just got this random little journal. For mine. Right. Let me let me whip this a little bit bigger. Here we go. All right. So like for me, for example, oh my word, how do I position this? Here we go. It's like for me, this is how I'm looking. That's actually crazy. I haven't even finished it. But yeah. So anything you learn, really, you're gonna be writing down in a little book, and you're gonna need a book. Okay. And so this isn't my actual book. This is just my like strategy book because I use other ones for like strategy and mentality, you could say. Because I think a big part of this is like um emotions because obviously you're dealing with thousands of dollars. Well, not in my case, but you're dealing with a lot of money, and it's hard to stay like ready and alert and focused while you're watching all this money just like fade and come back. So yeah, so that's just an overview. Is it's hard. It's gonna take a while, and you need to be ready to lose money and also to gain money. You have to be ready for all that because it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so the first thing I reckon we're gonna go over is not my strategy. It's the actual like candles, right? So here we go. Here's the perfect example of a candle. Okay. No, I'm gonna switch back to the default settings for this. Wait 1 second. Bang. 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 Sorry, I'm just switching back to settings so you guys understand what's going on. Okay. So, basically, how this works is that you have these little bars. You call them candlesticks, okay? And then each candlestick represents how price moved in a certain amount of time. So, like right now, this is how price moved in 1 minute, okay? And I'm about to teach you guys what all these lines here, because every single side of this thing is important. But then, for example, like this bar represents a minute in time because we're on the 1 minute time frame. But then, if you go up to the 4 hour time frame, oh, oh my days, each one of these little bars represents 4 hours of how price moved. So, it really depends on yeah, what time frame you're on, and also you'll be switching between time frames a lot when you're trading, because it's very important to get an overview of what's happening in the 1 minute versus what's happening on the 4 hour, because they can be telling very different stories. Okay, let's find a good example here. Here we go. Oh no. Oh, here we go. This is great. Okay. 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 Stretching them. Easier for you guys to see. Okay. I don't know why these settings are still not good. Black. Okay, that looks even worse, but we'll swing with that. So, basically, you get two types of candles. A green candle slash a bullish. Okay, so a bullish candle means that it's up. It's going up. The price is increasing. Does that make sense? Okay. So a bullish candle means that the price is going up and the price is increasing, versus a bearish candle, which means the price is going down slash price is decreasing, right? So, for example, in a bullish candle, you have four major components, right? First, you have these little wicks, right? You call them a wick because these are candlesticks. Does that make sense? So, first you have the wick of the candle. That shows the max price or the minimum price. So, in this case, the bottom wick shows the minimum price that price was ever at. So, in this 1 minute, this wick represents the lowest point at which the price was at in that minute, okay? Versus the top wick, which represents the maximum price in that minute. Okay. But the reason why it's wicks is because price didn't close there or open there. So then that's where these lines are at the bottom. So for a bullish candle, the bottom of the candle is the open of the candle. So the start of the 1 minute. And then once it opens and it goes up, it closes that 1 minute, which represents the end or slash the most recent point at which price was in that minute. And then obviously you can imagine these wicks like snail trails, right? Like the price snailed up and then went back down, but and the price didn't, it didn't close there or open there, but it was there at one point. Okay, so that's what that is. It's like a little snail trail. It's like, okay, it's the maximum. Okay, that's the minimum. And then this is obviously that's the whole important part. So that's the open, and then price gradually clomb for that whole minute until it closed here. And then, for example, in a bearish candle, the top wick is the maximum price that it was in that minute, versus the bottom wick is the minimum price that it was in that minute. And then the top of that candle, it's the opposite of a bullish candle. So the red candles slash the down candles are what you call bearish candles. So then in terms of a bearish candle, it opens at the top and then it closes at the bottom. So then this whole time it was going down, 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 down for it to close in the 1 minute. And then you can see the minimum price it was ever at and then the maximum price. Does that make sense? Is that making sense to everybody? Alright. Awesome, awesome. So let's go over it. Bullish candle is up. Price opened at the bottom side and closed at the top. It represents all of the price that happened in that 1 minute. And this top wick, that represents the maximum price at which happened in that 1 minute candle. And then the top bottom wick is the minimum price that happened in that candle. And then the same for this bearish candle. Opened at the top of the side, closed at the bottom. This was the maximum price. This was the minimum price during that minute. Making sense? Awesome. Okay, and then we can see here, let me switch back to my settings. So okay, so white is up, dark gray is down. Okay, awesome. Why is this chat still open? In a way. Okay, so now that we understand that, we can go over trends. What is a trend? Okay. So let me. Oh my days, bro. Okay, we're gonna scroll away from the price for a little bit. So a trend is when price is going. Guess what? Up or down. So in this case, what would this be? And the trends have the same name as the candlesticks. What is this? A bearish trend. Okay? Which means price is going down because it's bearish. Bearish is down, bullish is up. And then you also get an uptrend. Okay, it's going up. It's a bullish trend. Okay, so then in this case, right, this is down, this is up, this is bearish, this is bullish. Okay, making sense. So then there's another thing inside of that trend, which you call highs and lows. Okay, this is a high in the trend. This is a high in the trend. This is a low in the trend. This is a low in the trend. Why is it a low? It's low because it's the lower price in that trend, right? So then in this case, what we can see is we've got a high, we've got a lower high, we've got a lower high, we have a low, and we have a lower low, and we have a lower low, right? So a downtrend would be consisted of lower highs and lower lows versus an uptrend. Here we have a low, we have another low, we have a low, a higher low, and then a higher low. Versus here as well, we have high, a higher high, and a higher high. Does that make sense? So a trend is made of two things: lower lows or lower highs slash higher highs or higher lows. Does that make sense? Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, that's trends, right? So then let's identify some trends on the freaking charts. Here's a trend. Why? We have a low. We have a low. We have a low. That low is higher than that low. That low is higher than that low. So what is that? This is a bullish trend. Here we have higher, 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 and higher highs. So this is an uptrend. Versus here we have lower lows and lower highs. So look, high. This high is lower than the last high. This high is lower than the last high. This high is lower than the last high. And then this low is lower than the last low. This low is lower than the last low. Oh my word, I can't say that fast. Lower, lower than the last lower. And then we know because of that this is a downtrend. Wow, shocking. Okay, awesome. We've sorted that. Remember lows and highs. Those are important for later for breaks of structure. I'm probably gonna teach them that. Okay, so then we have a break of structure. What a break of structure is. What is this? Here we go. What a break of structure is. So remember the opening and the closing of the candles, right? It's the whole body of the candle. That's what this part is called without the wicks, right? So what a break of structure is say for example, here we go. Say for example, we have a high, right? Right there. We have a high here. Does that make sense? We have a high here. Okay. And then we have a candle close, remember? Above that high. That is called a break of structure, okay? And that's usually when a trend is either slowing down, temporarily reversing, or completely reversing, which means that the trend has completely switched and flipped, and instead of it going down, now it's going up. So that's a pretty important part because it helps us identify when a trend is changing. So here we go. We have a high, close above the high. Break of structure, probably gonna reverse, okay? So that's like a major part of how trends move. And yeah, so we have break of structure, highs, lower lows, higher lows, candlesticks, candle wicks. Making sense to everybody? Okay. So that is pretty much everything I'm going to go over for today. The rest of it is probably going to be a little bit of discipline and a little bit of homework. Because you guys, I'm not going to show you guys literally everything. Here we go. Guys, you are gonna get yourself a gosh darn booklet, right? You need a book. You need a book. You need a book, okay? Because you are going to write down everything I've told you here, right? Break of structure, lower lows, lower highs, higher highs, higher lows. And you're going to write that down, okay? And Once that's done, I want you. Oh wait, here we go. I want you to hop on TradingView. Okay. So what the hell is TradingView? All my days. All my days. All my days. Okay, here we go. All my days. Don't even ask. Okay. So where are we gonna find TradingView? It's pretty important for if you're trading. It's TradingView. Unless you view your trading. It's pretty much in the name. It's in the name. Alright. Okay. So there's two options for how you can access TradingView, right? Either you can go to tradingview.com, right? There is a TradingView is free for its free plan. On my word, for its free plan. There are paid plans which are better. I have a paid plan, but you don't need one to start. You probably shouldn't get one to start. So either you can access TradingView online. See here, you just click launch supercharts, make an account. I don't have to because I have an account, and then you're in, the charts. That's really easy. Or you can say, where is it? TradingView. You can just look up TradingView download, and then you just have to follow the download prompts. It's not that hard. Yeah, TradingView desktop. You just download that for Windows, Mac, or Linux, and then see it's got some amazing stuff. And I can't believe it's free. Like that's probably the craziest part. So yeah. So then you just download that and install it on your device. And then once you've got that, what I want you to do is I want you to go onto TradingView. I want you to find 5 trends and 5 examples of a break of structure. Okay? And you're just gonna need to practice that because this is arguably the most important part in my strategy. Because I am gonna show you guys my strategy. And I quite like my strategy. It's win rate right now is 88%. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what's supposed to tell you, right? Which means I win 88% of the time in back testing, which means you're testing against previous moments of price. So it's like a replay. You're like replaying what happened in the past and you're testing your strategy based off of what happened in the past. So yeah, I want you to find 5 examples of a trend and then 5 examples of a break of structure. And I also want you to try and revise how these candlesticks work because that's also pretty gosh darn important. Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Enjoy, you guys. And also I just want to say, right, that this is gonna take a while. Really, it is. I really hate to break it to you, but it's gonna take really gosh darn long, really, really, really long. Like maybe not as long as it takes to bloody like build a business, right? Maybe it's a little bit shorter than that, but it's gonna take you so long before you make money with this, and you shouldn't be risking money. Okay. Next time, I'm gonna show you guys how to set up a fake account. Okay, that where you trade with fake money because you guys are not gonna start trading with real money for at least another 4 to 5 months. Okay, and once you're done with that, I'll teach you guys about prop firms. That's pretty cool sauce. But for now, you're not gonna be trading with real money because it's way too risky. I think it's very emotional. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, and it's really good for like discipline. You could say. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, but I gotta say, if you want this to be like a get rich quick thing, it's not gonna bloody happen. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen because it takes so long even to learn the basics. It's probably gonna be a couple of episodes this. So if you're not prepared for that, then don't watch the rest. Yeah. Bye bye.